All right, today we're doing something a little different. We're going to dive headfirst into this piece of pure, wonderful chaos and see if we can actually pull a story out of it. Let's get into it. So the whole thing just kicks off with this line. I think I had to buy the burgers for you yesterday, Martin. No warning, no introduction, it just begins.
Which, immediately makes you ask the big question. What on earth is this? Are we listening to someone's dream? A diary? Well, that's what we're here to figure out, piece by piece. Okay, so our first move here isn't to try and organize the chaos. Not at all. It's actually to just lean into it. We've got to get a feel for what this thing is before we can spot any kind of pattern. And at first, it really is just a total jumble. It's this stream of consciousness that jumps from something really mundane, like buying burgers, to these really strange travel stories and pop culture references that come out of nowhere. It feels like it's designed to throw you off balance.
But here's the thing. The first patterns that start to pop up aren't even words. They're sounds. You hear trains, cars, these weird squishy noises, and yeah, even a Dalek. These sounds just keep coming back, almost like a weird rhythmic beat under everything else.
And then, rising out of all that noise, a story actually starts to form. Now, it's a very strange looping story, but it's the first real narrative thread we can grab onto. Let's see where it takes us. This is our way in. It's a song we all kind of know, right? But it's about to spin out into this absolutely absurd quest. This one simple problem, a hole in a bucket, ends up being the spine of the entire piece. And this is where the logic just goes completely off the rails, in the best way. Okay, you need to fix the bucket. You need Gorilla Glue. But to get that glue, you need an actual gorilla. And not just any gorilla, you need King Kong. But just when you think that's solved, the bucket gets stolen by Mickey Mouse, who's apparently selling it on eBay. Every solution just creates an even crazier problem. So here's the key idea. This bucket story, as wild as it gets, is what we'd call a narrative anchor. Whenever things get too chaotic and spin out of control, the audio always comes back to this story. It's our home base. But, of course, just as we get our bearings with the bucket, the whole piece just rips us away to somewhere completely different. It creates this constant feeling of motion. Let's take a look. We just keep getting hit with this word, meanwhile. It's used like a jump cut in a movie, It just abruptly changes the scene, the location, with absolutely no warning. And I mean, just look at this itinerary. We are jumping all over the globe. California to Brisbane, a cave in ancient Babylon to a random field in Liverpool. The scale is huge, and it feels completely random, giving you this sense of frantic, non-stop travel. Hey, remember those train sounds from the beginning? This is where they click into place. The choo-choo isn't just some random sound effect. It's the sound of this constant, restless travel. It's all connected to that same idea of always being in motion. So we have our main story and these constant geographic interruptions. But who? Who are the people in this world? Well, as you'd probably guess by now, the cast is just as bizarre as everything else. Okay, so our main characters are Henry and Liza from the song, but their simple story gets invaded by all these pop culture icons. King Kong is the only guy who can supply the glue, Mickey Mouse is an eBay pirate, and then completely out of left field, Art Garfunkel shows up as a musical guest to sing a parody song. It is a total fever dream cast. All right, we've mapped out the chaos. We have the anchor story, the meanwhile interruptions, the crazy cast. But there is one final line right at the end of the source material that changes everything. It reframes this whole thing. And there it is. With that one sentence, we suddenly realize we're not listening to someone's private thoughts. We have been listening to a public performance this whole time.
And all at once, the pieces just snap together, but in a new way. They're acts in some kind of surreal talent show. That choo-choo train isn't just a sound effect. It's a contestant singing its song. Henry isn't just rambling, he's telling his story on a stage. And Art Garfunkel? He's the special musical guest. The talent show becomes the stage for all this chaos.
And what this really means is that all these different broken up pieces, the bucket, the train, the travel, the cameos, they were never separate ideas. They're all part of one single, cohesive, and very deliberate performance. So the huge takeaway here is this. The point was never to just understand the chaos. The point was to experience it as an audience. That whole stream of consciousness style was a performance about how our own minds work, right? How we jump between memories, things we've seen on TV, and our own little everyday problems.
Which leaves us with one last big question. Maybe what we've just taken apart isn't just one weird audio clip. Maybe it's a model for how creativity itself works. Just this chaotic mess of memory, pop culture, and sounds that only becomes a story when we decide to perform it. What do you think?